understand a Sagittarius man. So just like all the other fire signs, right? The other two fire signs, Sagittarius is a wild spirit, right? Because fire deals with energy, fire deals with life, movement, fertility, you know what I mean? Among other things, right? Whole list of other things. Now, when you get down to the Sagittarius, for the male Sagittarius is the stallion. For the female Sagittarius, you have the mare, M-A-R-E. That's the female version of the stallion, okay? For the male version, like I'm covering here, it's the stallion. So, much to say about this type of person. This type of person ultimately rules the ninth house, okay? And the ninth house deals with publication. It deals with expansion. Anything that you are going for in life and you want a favorable outcome, you are heading to the ninth house. Where you see signs of things are starting to improve for you, don't necessarily really start to take bud and really start to take any kind of like how a plant begins to germinate from the ground and you start to see it peek its head, is the ninth house. That's what the ninth house represents. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So because Sagittarius is ruled by such a benevolent planet, generally speaking, this person has a very happy-go-lucky type of mentality, right? The cup is half full type of mentality. But there's more. Because, and this is quite a secret, that the fire signs, and specifically Sagittarius, but fire signs in general, will not tell other elements of the zodiac sign, and as a side effect, the other zodiac signs. A lot of fire signs are very much so discontent with how things are happening in their life. And why I'm saying that in the first place is because with Sagittarius, right? With Aries, Aries is romanticism, trying to look at something with rose-colored glasses and not necessarily seeing the forest for the trees, what it actually is sometimes. Leo is about masking the sadness that they feel with their family and how people treat them. With Sagittarius, it's about masking the disappointment, unfortunately, that Sagittarius feels. And this is what sparks Sagittarius, or Sagittarians in general, to go into to start having a philosophical life or a philosophical mentality. It's the idea that, and this is a secret, like I said before, that the Sagittarians are not going to tell you. Sagittarians are very much so disappointed in not just most people whom they meet, but disappointed in life, disappointed in just the way that their love the way that their love interactions, I was about to say transactions, no, their love interactions pan out. And it usually is disappointing. Why? Because people do not press to go after the ideal, which is what Virgo normally would. So just like the other fire signs, specifically Aries, Sagittarius ends up having a lot of sexual rendezvous with, or interactions with, people that are very much so broken, you know what I mean? Very much so dysfunctional, you know. Sometimes they'll stay with them, but most of the times, this is why Sagittarius is so hard to keep. It's because Sagittarians are ultimately this. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's a level of sadness that goes through the fire signs that they don't want other people to see. But me being an astrologer and knowing what it is I'm talking about, asking people questions, they can't hide that type of stuff from me. So what is it that you have here when you bring this type of person in? This is the type of person who ultimately seeks to look out for number one. Okay? Because Sagittarius ultimately understands the power of self-preservation. Even though Sagittarius does push to show and implement a lifestyle, as well as bringing other people joy and some form of understanding that things will become better. Remember, it's ruled by Jupiter, expansion, benevolence. Zodiac signs that are ruled by Jupiter and zodiac signs that are ruled by Venus aren't necessarily, or zodiac sign that is ruled by the sun isn't necessarily the zodiac signs that will actually do the hard work, because they are benevolent planets. Leo, ruled by the sun, is a benevolent planet and zodiac sign. Libra, right, most of the times, I should say half the times, as well as Taurus, ruled by Venus. Venus is a benevolent planet. Won't necessarily go get down deep into the mud with you. You understand what I'm saying? What else? Jupiter rules over Sagittarius, and Pisces don't necessarily want to help. They don't necessarily care, because remember, they deal with benevolence. Now, when you bring a person who has this mentality with them, depending on who you are and depending on if you're able to see things for the way that they are, this could be good. This could be good or bad, because the person who has a Sagittarius mindset, Sagittarius rules over religion and a religious mindset, and having that form. See, religion, the 9th house, which is right next to the 10th house, Capricorn, is where you get church and state. That is tied hand in hand. And the faith that Sagittarius represents through the 9th house, it is what is necessary for abundance. And the 9th house rules abundance. But the 10th house rules seeing the abundance take physical shape, as to where the 9th house rules the luck and the abundance that you can't, and the wealth that you can't necessarily physically see just yet until you reach the 10th house. So there is a reason why it is that those two zodiac signs and houses are right next to each other. Now, with the Sagittarius man seeks to find himself a partner, where the partner that the Sagittarius interacts with does not smother him. Can't do that, because the Sagittarius needs the space. Remember, they are a stallion, so they need the space in order for them to take the time, recharge their batteries. And when I say recharge their batteries, I mean recuperate their energy. See, you hang around the Sagittarius man too much, you smother him, right? The Capricorn can deal with it. The Taurus, sure enough, can deal with it. I'm not necessarily sure if I actually did Taurus. I'll have to go back and check, and then I'll do Taurus. But because I think I missed Taurus. But anyway, don't worry about it, Taurians. For the ones who are looking at this, I'll go back and show enough give y'all much respect. But this person ends up becoming a philosopher, if not full out pastor, or preach some form of philosophy that they live by. If you ever seen the movie Fight Club, Brad Pitt is a Sagittarius. And throughout the entire movie, you got a mentality of how Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt / the narrator, because they were both sharing one consciousness, or I should say one body, but two different forms of consciousness. You saw how the Brad Pitt character of Tyler Durden thought, his philosophy. But the thing with the Sagittarius energy is, although benevolent, the Sagittarius energy needs to be watched out for, because the Sagittarius energy, if not kept honest, can be a very dangerous one, based upon the Sagittarians being capable of saying something but not necessarily practicing what it is that they preach. So they very much so, a lot of times, not all, but a lot of times, make themselves into the hypocrite. But here's the redeeming part about Sagittarius, is that when Sagittarius understands for itself that it done something wrong, Sagittarius, just like Virgo, will go back to the drawing board and can admit that they did wrong, and may even seek to do right and atone with what they've done wrong, and potentially who they done wrong. How to understand the Sagittarius man?